Hi again. Let us now begin with the other topic related to the compensation. So, if you remember, the last slides that we were discussing, we discussed first thing we saw was an introductory case. Then we started discussing what is compensation, what is the importance of compensation, what is the process, how it is determined, and then we discussed about job evaluation and its methods. And then now we are just going to look at the innovation part, as in innovation as in first thing, what are the ways in which, let's say that professional jobs are being compensated, or managerial jobs are being compensated, or how does the competency based pay work in the organization, and what are the other ways in which compensation is offered in the organization. And then we will be moving on to the topic of incentives, how incentives are offered. Yeah, so beginning with pricing managerial and professional jobs. When we are talking about compensating executives and managers, like in general, whenever we are talking about, like, whenever we are determining the salary of the workers or the employees in the organization, we discussed how it is to be determined, right? How it is calculated and what are the compensable factors that are considered whenever we are determining the salary for the job. Now, at the same time, whenever you are trying to compensate the executive level person or managerial level individual, then what are the factors, not exactly factors, but how they are rewarded. So, see, first thing which is very common to the executive or managerial level people will be the base pay. Base pay is obviously there. There is some basic salary which is always, of course, higher than the other employees. Then comes the short term incentives, certain incentives which are short term, like basic facilities which are given to them. For example, a person is sent on vacation, or some medical expenses are reimbursed, like that. So short term incentives, whereas some incentives could be long term incentives. For example, stock options can be there. So short term incentive, long term incentives, and then comes the executive benefits and perks. So some are the additional benefits also that they get. So what kind of perks we will be discussing in detail as we move ahead, because all these are covered under the incentive part, but basically this is what is offered to them. Now, what really determines executive pay? Who's going to decide this? So, CEO pay is set by the board of directors, taking into account the factors like business strategy. What is the business strategy? How is the corporate trend, and where they want to be in the short and the long run. So, basically, whenever we are talking about determining the salary or compensation for any executive level person, then they are decided by the board members. Board members will give the approval about how much a senior level person should be getting. And they will obviously consider what is the strategy of the business, again what are the trends, how is the competition, and what about the short and long term goals. The firms pay CEOs based on the complexity of the jobs they filled, and boards are reducing the relative importance of base salary while boosting the emphasis on performance based pay, because it is the salary of the CEO. It's not that end of the month CEO is looking forward to get that fixed whatever pay, but beyond that, they are mostly paid the performance based pay. And the emphasis is more on performance based pay, because their work is straight away related to how the company is performing. The decisions which are taken by the CEO, or any senior level authority will determine what kind of performance the company will be doing in any particular financial year. So that's why they also believe that performance based pay should be offered to the the professionals, the executive level individuals. Now, there is something also called competency based pay. So what are the competencies? So competencies are the demonstrable characteristics of a person, which can include, let's say, knowledge of a person, skills, and behaviors that enable the performance. So in most of the organization, for any senior level person also, nowadays competency based pay is considered. That means you're paying for the employee's range, depth, and types of skills and knowledge, rather than for the job title he or she holds. So that is called competency based pay. Now, when we consider the executive compensation, this is similar to what we discussed. So executive compensation are the monetary and non-monetary benefits which are given to the employees who are working at upper level management of an organization. And the main components of executive compensations are, so when we are talking about the compensation that is offered to any executive level individual, right, what will be included is, first thing is the cash compensation is given. Second one is long term incentive. Third one is short term incentive. Fourth one is executive benefits which are given to the executives. And fifth one is perks. So as I mentioned, that the incentives we will be discussing in some time when we move on to the incentive part of the chapter. Then another, we cannot say innovation, but another category is international compensation. So, national compensation and international compensation both differs from each other. The international compensation can be defined as the combination of monetary and non-monetary rewards which are offered to expatriates, that is the professional or skilled workers living in a foreign country, for their performance. Components of international, so what will be included? See, first thing, when we are talking about international compensation, means we are trying to offer to people who are going outside, right? Who is considered as expatriate? There's a word over here, expatriates. So person who is going to another country, that person to work, that person is called expatriate. Let's say somebody from India is going to work in China, then that person who's left and moved to another country for the purpose of work is considered as an expatriate. So they will be offered both monetary rewards and non-monetary rewards. Monetary, of course, they need, and non-monetary rewards will be some kind of motivation or help to them, right? Let's say housing facility, let's say education, let's say other recreational facilities, so that they can adjust in that particular environment and they can survive. Now, when we are talking about international compensation, there are allowances, additional allowances which will be given to them. There are taxes, tax benefits which will be given to them, because taxes in your own country and taxes in international setup both will be different. And spousal assistance is also something which is considered, because if your family is also going along, your spouse, let's say your husband and children or your wife and children, then because they also might be working in your local country, so then they also need some kind of assistance, so spouse allowance can also be given. So now we are not going too much into detail into international compensation, but this can be an entire subject. It's an entire subject altogether. So it's a vast subject, very much in detail, but right now only just giving you the overview that it also differs. Then some of the other compensation trends. So what happens is, there is a concept which is called broadbanding. So what is broadbanding? It's like a broadband. So consolidating salary grades and ranges into just a few wide levels or bands, each of which contains a relatively wide range of jobs and salary levels. So these are the grades and ranges into a few wide levels or bands. So what happens is, like when we were discussing this chapter of job evaluation, and before that also I had told you that whenever you are determining a salary for different types of jobs, now see, there are hundreds of jobs in an organization, so you cannot go through the process of job evaluation for each and individual job, because it's a very time consuming process and it is not needed. But there are certain jobs which are similar in nature and they can fall under same category. Let's say grade A level, grade A or level A job, level B, level C. So why I am saying these levels, it completely depends upon the type of job, as in, let's say, what kind of skills are needed in particular job, what kind of difficulty level is there in the job, what kind of knowledge is required in a job, what kind of qualification is needed in a particular job, right? So whenever you are evaluating the job, maybe you will not evaluate HR manager, finance manager, marketing manager differently, but rather than that, all the managerial level jobs can fall under same category. So you will just create a band, which we are calling broadband, so that in one particular band there will be so many jobs will be categorized which are of similar nature. In the same band you can increase, and in the same band you can decrease, then people will be okay, right? Let's say that if you are paying in a scale of 10,000 to 15,000, because they are similar types of jobs, then whether you give 10, whether you give 12, whether you give 14 or 15, it's all one and the same. So that is called broadbanding. It becomes much easier to promote somebody and demote somebody who is falling under the same category, because there is no much difference, you fall under the same bands. So what are the pros and cons? First thing, there will be more flexibility in assigning workers to different job grades. Second, it provides support for flatter hierarchies and teams, because if it's like flatter hierarchies, everybody will be getting similar pay. It also promotes skills learning and mobility, right? Because see, if you are working in one department and now I want to give you a transfer, move one individual person to another department, and almost you're working at the same level, then I don't have to worry about changing your pay, because you fall under same level, same broadband. So only objective is to promote some kind of skill learning, trying to enhance or trying to learn some more skills. Then another thing is lack of permanence. Yeah, one of the problem is lack of permanence in job responsibilities can be unsettling to new employees. So everybody wants to be permanent, whenever you're taking up some responsibility, you don't want to keep changing your job, because it's difficult. Your experience, the way you're going to learn new skills, all these things matter. So then because of this lack of permanence, it is unsettling for so many employees also. See, this is how the band looks like. This is band A, band B. Now you can see, like, the blue portion is on the left and right. Even if you move a little bit ahead, above, and even if you fall a little bit below, doesn't matter, because you fall under band A, band B. So it becomes much easier, to promote you or bring you back to the same position. So this is how broadbanding is, and one of the concept of uh, compensation is one of the trend in compensation nowadays. Okay, now we're going to discuss about the components of salary structure in India. So this is almost a standard structure, but it differs from organization to organization, because every company will have different rules, but the basic components will remain the same. Employees get salaries from the employer in exchange of services rendered by them. Salaries paid to the employees are comprised of various components such as basic salary, allowances, and perks. So, I'm not sure if you have seen this, but if you get time, you should be seeing the salary structure, so you will get to know how it is. People who are already working professionals, are very well aware about the components of salary structure in India. Those who don't know, I'm just giving the overview of what all these things mean. Okay, now first thing is basic salary. I hope all of you understand the basic salary is the salary which you get for your work done, which is a nominal amount, because other incentives which are added to it, other allowances which are added, that makes your salary actually looks bigger. Otherwise, your basic salary is very small. So basic salary sometimes comes in a range, let's say 5,000 to 10,000, right? So you will be paid anywhere between this amount, let's say, for example, or you fall under the category of 18,000 to 25,000. I'm just talking as a fresher. So that is the basic salary that will be in monetary terms. Now another thing which will be added to your basic salary is dearness allowance. So what is dearness allowance? Dearness allowance actually, is a calculation on inflation. It is which is mainly paid to everybody actually. If you are a public sector employee or even the private sector employees, right, everybody prefers offering you dearness allowance in your salary. So it is calculated as a percentage of your basic salary to mitigate basically the impact of inflation on people, because inflation will always be on rise. So that you can recover the cost, right, so that you can easily meet the cost happening because of inflation. So government will always, or any private organization will give you the dearness allowance. And then there are the way calculation is done. Now earlier, like in 2023, it was 46% of your basic salary. So let's say that if you are earning 10,000 rupees as a basic salary, then 46% of your basic salary will be added in your salary as a um, dearness allowance. But recently, it was in news, like just before 3-4 days, that government has given a hike of 4% in the dearness allowance. So now it has reached to, like in January 2004, it reached to 50% of your basic salary. So even if your 10,000 rupees is your basic salary, 50% of that, right, 5,000 rupees will be added to your salary as a dearness allowance. So this is about dearness allowance. Next one is your HRA, house rent allowance. Now what is house rent allowance? So basically house rent allowance is also part of your CTC, right? It is given by your employer. Basically employer will give you house rent allowance to help you cover the cost of living in a rental accommodation. Again, rents will be different in different cities, right? Tier 2 cities, tier 1 cities, uh, or tier 3 cities, the rent will be different. So it is a part of your salary income, and it is of course it is a taxable income. But suppose if you are living in a rented accommodation, then you can you can claim tax exemption also. And suppose if you are a self-employed person, then you cannot claim for your HRA, house rent allowance, but obviously you can avail some tax deduction also under certain sections of taxation. Now when we are talking about how to calculate your exemptions, so your whatever actual HRA you are receiving, whatever amount you are receiving, that is 50% of your basic salary plus dearness allowance for those who are living in metro cities, that is Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata or Chennai. And if you are living in other cities like non-metro cities, then 40% of your basic salary plus dearness allowance. So that's the way it can be calculated. So that is about your house rent allowance, to help if you are paying, if you are living in a rented accommodation, then house rent allowance will be helpful. Next one is leave travel allowance. So some companies also give you travel allowances as a part of your salary. So travel allowances cannot be a very big amount, but let's say if your salary is 40,000, 50,000 rupees, then maybe 6,000 rupees, 7,000 rupees can be your travel allowance. Next one can be your conveyance allowance. One is leave travel and next one is your conveyance allowance. Another can be your medical allowance. Companies also give some kind of medical. Basically, if company cannot give you uh, only highest basic salary, because there are certain tax limitations also for the organization. That's why there is a breakup in which the entire CTC, cost to company, is divided into basic salary plus your HRA plus your dearness allowance plus medical plus leave. There can be your child education allowance, there can be any other special allowances, so the entire salary is divided into these categories, even for the betterment of the organization. So this is how the entire components of salary structure in India works. Apart from that, there are salary deductions, which are the deductions made by the organization from the salary of the employees. For example, let's say insurance for PF. So whatever salary we just saw in the case in the beginning, right? The boy who was assuming that my salary is going to be 50,000 was really shocked when that person got only 32,000 on hand. Because if you are not financially aware, if you are financially uneducated, then you would not know what is the right way of saving your taxes. and just because you have not done any kind of investments, you will end up paying a huge amount of taxes. But instead of that, if you save some money, save smartly, like you make some investment, then government are allowing so many deductions through which you can save some taxes. So in the very beginning, in that introductory story that we discussed, when that boy who joined the organization for the first time got only 32,000 on hand, realized that okay, I have no idea what this is. So always remember, whatever company tells you in the beginning is CTC, your cost to company, that is your gross salary, and whatever deductions you are making, and after that whatever you are receiving, that is your net salary, your take home salary. So in order to say, there will be a lot of deductions will be happening. For example, your PF will be deducted. Now again, this is compulsory. What is PF? The provident fund is also known as your pension fund, which is calculated at 12% of your basic plus DA. So whatever your basic salary is plus your dearness allowance, on that 12% salary will be 12% amount will be deducted, which is considered as your PF. It is paid to the employees. Basically it will be paid to you when you leave the organization, and under PF deduction, both the organization and employees, both of them will make equal contribution of 12%. So you will also give 12%, your organization company will also give 12%. So this is actually your saving. We can also consider it as your pension fund. Next one is, company can also deduct your money under the ESI. So this scheme is a social security and health insurance scheme, which is regulated by the ESI Corporation in India to provide social security to all the Indian employees. And the ESI deductions are again mandatory for those employees whose gross remuneration is not more than 21,000. So then you have to deduct some money under the insurance. Again, it is for the purpose of social security. Next one is professional tax. So this is also levied by the state government on the employees who get monthly salary, and it is charged as per the government laws, which is hardly, I think, 2%, 5% professional tax. So these are all the deductions that that is made from your gross salary. Now when we're talking about compensation structure, it consists of your basic pay, your allowances, your incentives, and also the fringe benefits. Basic pay, you understood, this is the first part of the compensation package, which is determined with the help of job evaluation. Now how does company determine basic pay? So we are already understood the entire concept of job evaluation. We understood what are the different methods in which job evaluation method are used, so that you try and identify what are the compensable factors in the job. After finding the compensable factors, depend whether it is qualitative method or quantitative method, you will be identifying those factors. You will be ranking them on the basis of different factors, like what is the difficulty level in the job, what is the decision making capacity, what is the responsibility, what are the number of tasks which has to be done, right? So considering all these factors, you will be either ranking if you are using those methods, or any four different methods we discussed. So basically job evaluation will help you what should be the basic pay in that particular job. There are certain factors which will impact your basic pay. For example, demand and supply of workers. There will be wages which is offered by your competitors, and obviously your salary administration policy and the government legislation in that period as per the existing government. So this will affect your basic pay. Then comes the allowances, your dearness allowance, medical allowance, special allowance. So there are different types of allowances which will be paid to the employees in addition to your basic salary, to protect the salary against the inflation mainly, and to help you meet your medical needs, as well as any transport related expenses that you incurring. And next one is incentives. So when we are talking about incentives, it will include bonus, it can be commission, it can be profit sharing also. So these are mostly all the incentives are performance based nowadays. Especially for managerial level employees, what is more insisted is they should be given performance based pay and not just the salary, because whatever decision they are making, whatever performance they are, um, whatever performance they are showing in the organization, or it should be competency related pay. So it's mainly incentive based pay. So they are mainly given to the star performers of the organization to motivate. Basically, it gives a kind of motivation to the employee. So this is how your salary structure looks like. Now quickly talking about what are the incentives and what are the employee benefits which are offered to the employees. Now how does these incentives help? So it helps to induce and motivate workers for high efficiency and greater output. Obviously, see, if you're getting your basic salary, then you'll be in a you will be in a comfort zone. You know that whether you work or don't work, whatever happens, end of the month you are going to earn money. But if there are some incentives which are attached to your performance, then you will be motivated to work hard. You know that your performance will be counted, and if you are making more efforts, then your performance will be rewarded. So that's why it always induce and motivate the workers for higher efficiency and greater output. It also helps to remove fear of insecurity among the employees. You don't feel insecure, at least you know that if you're going to work, you'll get the return. It also helps in reducing the total cost of production, because workers are going to work with utmost efficiency, right? So at least your cost of production will be under control. It also helps in increasing the production capacity. As I said, that if people are working in their comfort zone, knowing that even if they work hard, nobody is going to care, then why will they work hard? But at least if they know that if they work harder, at least their performance will be rewarded. So this will also help in increasing the production capacity. It also helps to enhance the earnings of the employees, and it helps in decreasing supervision and reduces wastage, absenteeism, and employees turnover, because now you don't have to monitor their performances, you don't need any kind of supervision, you don't need control, because employees themselves know that their performance is getting measured uh, through the competencies which and skills which they are using. So that's why if they work hard, obviously they will be rewarded, otherwise no, if it is performance related pay and if there are incentives which are offered to the employees. So this is the reason why offering incentives to the employees along with the basic salary that a person is receiving is very important. Sometimes your salary doesn't act as a motivation, but whatever incentives you're offering to the people, it works as a motivation. In fact, so many employees say that they are highly motivated by the non-monetary rewards which they are getting. Now completely depends on the individual. Some people gets motivated by monetary rewards, some people gets motivated by non-monetary rewards. So I hope that when you studied the chapter of motivation in OB in your semester 1, you must have learned this better, how it differs from one individual to another individual. But in the organization, it is always suggested that monetary as well as non-monetary rewards, including the incentives, should be offered to the employees. Now let's see what incentive plans are. So incentive plans are also called performance incentive plans, PIPs, that are made to motivate employees so that they can perform according to need of the organization and contribute in realizing growth in the business. Incentive plans help in promoting exceptional behavior during a specific period. It also helps in attracting employees to an organization and retaining them for a long time. Yeah, people would, before joining, definitely like to know what kind of incentives are given by the company. What additional things, what offers they get, because they would like, obviously everybody would like incentives and rewards and benefits. So that is one way of attracting employees to your organization, and also retaining them for the long time. The types of incentive plans are as follows. So first one is individual incentive plans. The individual incentive plans are the incentive plans in which an organization decides the incentive for its individual employees according to their contribution towards organizational objectives. So as the name suggests, individual incentive plans cater to the individual employees according to their contribution. Then second one is group incentive plans. So then there is something which the benefit of which will be given to the entire group. So these plans help in deciding the incentive system for the group of 2 or more employees. The group incentive plans improve productivity of the team and develop team spirit in the organization. The incentive is decided for the group of employees who have performed exceptionally well. And third one is organizational incentive plan. The organizational incentive plans enable an organization to decide what annual incentive will be given to all the employees of the organization for their contribution in achieving the organizational goals of the year. So it's like profit sharing. If the entire organization is earning like good profit end of the year, then company would like to share the profit with all the employees. And group incentive plans is related to the team, wherein if you are working in a team and if you are earning some good money or any other rewards, then it will be distributed and divided among all the team members. So that is team incentive plan. Now very quickly we are just going to see the types of incentive plans. So individual plans, as you can see, it can be on the basis of piecework, it can be bonus, it can be merit based pay, there can be non-financial and financial recognition, there can be incentive awards, there can be sales incentive, and there can be incentive for managers and executives. So these are all individual incentives. When we're talking about group or team, then it is called team based. And when it is entire organization wide, it can be either profit sharing, or it can be employee stock ownership plans, or it can be gain sharing. Now in gain sharing, there are a number of ways in which it can be calculated, like Scanlon plan and Impro share, Raka plan and all that. And then there are stock options and at risk variable pay plan. So these are the different categories of plan which are organization wide. Some of the incentives for professional employees. So for professional employees, are those whose work involves the application of learned knowledge to the solution of the employer's problems, like lawyers, like doctors, economists, engineers. These are all professional employees. So what kind of possible incentives can be offered to them? Let's say bonuses, let's say stock options and grants, profit sharing, better vacations, more flexible work hours, improved pension plans, equipment for home offices. All these things can be the possible incentives for the professional employees. And then next come the non-financial and recognition awards. So when we're talking about the recognition program, then recognition program are one of the several types of non-financial incentives. And the term recognition program usually refers to the formal programs such as Employee of the Month program or social recognition program. Generally refers to the informal manager-employee exchanges such as praise or approval or expressions of appreciation for a job well done. Performance feedback means providing quantitative or qualitative information on task performance for the purpose of changing or maintaining performance. So see, when we are talking about non-financial and recognition awards, right? So what is the effects of recognition based awards? Recognition has a positive impact on performance either alone or in conjunction with financial rewards. Okay, once again I repeat, Effects of recognition based awards. So recognition has a positive impact on performance, either alone or in conjunction with financial rewards. Day-to-day recognition from supervisors, peers, and team members is important. Now, what are the ways to use recognition? So, how will you give recognition? First thing is social recognition. So, what does it mean? Social recognition refers to informal manager-employee exchanges such as praise. That's called social recognition, right? In front of all the team members, if your manager is just praising you that well done, you did a good job, or it is a kind of approval or some kind of expressions also of appreciation for a job well done, then that is something that is motivating. Second one is performance based recognition. So when we are talking about performance based recognition, right, again, for example, employee of the month you are declaring, then it is performance based recognition, right? Everybody would love it. And last one is performance feedback. So it means you are trying to provide some kind of qualitative or quantitative information on task performance for the purpose of changing or maintaining performance. You are giving some kind of feedback, means either you want to change or you want to maintain the same level of performance, but in any situation you are trying to give feedback. So that is also a way of recognition. So this is how non-financial and recognition awards can be offered. Here are some of the examples of social recognition and related positive reinforcement which managers can use. For example, see, if you're giving challenging work assignment to somebody, that also acts as a motivating factor, right? Or let's say you're giving freedom to choose your own work activity, or you're having fun built into work, or let's say you're giving more of a preferred task to somebody. So all these things are kind of social recognition. Or let's say you are giving role as a boss's tendon when he or she is away, or role in presentations to top management. That is also quite motivating. Or be it job rotation or compliments or note of thanks or expression of appreciation, or bigger desk or bigger office, right? In between, I think I'm missing out on some. You can just go through the slide, but please understand that these are all positive reinforcement which managers can use, and it goes long way, right? It is all these social recognition, nothing, you don't have to do anything, you are not losing anything, right? These are just mere words or just the opportunity to work, but all these things are considered as social recognition. Now imagine nobody is giving you an opportunity to work on a challenging task, or let's say that nobody is asking you or allowing you to present in front of the top management. So then what will you do, right? So it is only possible when you are getting some heads up from the top manager, from the managers, your seniors. So then it's possible. So that opportunity itself is a social recognition, that you were identified among so many people to perform that particular task. So that is also social recognition. Please take a minute and just go through the points. All right, moving ahead. See, there is one more example. This is a social recognition, again non-financial, by Gujarat Gas Company Limited, GGCL. So this company uses special congratulatory cards to recognize high-performing employees. See, some companies declare employee of the month. So even if you go to malls, you can see like a board in which people who are the star performers of the week or star performers of the month, their pictures will be there along with the names. So that is a big recognition. So for GGCL, they are just giving this kind of congratulatory card. So see, it's written shabash, it is awarded to this person for in date, dear, I appreciate you for. So these are the cards. Now it's nothing, it's just a sheet of paper, but imagine person who's receiving it, for them this is it's very valuable, right? So that is about social recognition. Okay, this is just on a lighter note. Just because you're offering incentives scheme, people are working like faster and harder. All right, the next one is combining financial and non-financial awards. So you can also pick something out of these awards. For example, employee recognition, gift certificates, some special events you can organize. You can give them cash rewards. There can be an email or print communication also. This is very common, but it's like if somebody has really done exceptionally well, then you can just shoot up an email in the entire organization, talking about or sharing about this person's uh, work, commendable work, right? So everybody will get to know about it. So even that one email also is quite motivating. The next one is training programs, then work life benefits, something that can help you balance your work and family, then your variable pay, the group travel, and the individual travel, right? So these are also some of the financial and non-financial awards. Then there are some of the non-financial techniques. So what we are discussing right now in each slide is I'm just taking you through the different types of incentives, be it financial or non-financial. So non-financial techniques also, see, first one is awards and recognition. So different type of awards can be declared, like quarter employee of the month, quarter, year, or you can give them certificates like we just saw for GGCL, or there can be some circulars which you can just paste it on the notice board, and or you can give some recognition, public or staff recognition, or there can be some personalized gifts also. So these days, like, it's very simple, like giving a pen holder with the name of a person written on it. It's such a simple thing, but yeah, it's great, quite motivating. Then another way you can also motivate people is by, these are these are like non-financial things. For example, creating a good working environment, something which is like non-political, something the working environment which is good culture. There is transparency in the workplace. There is hygiene and safety. There are effective like grievance handling. If there are any grievances, you have such mechanisms in place that all the grievances will be resolved like quickly, without any hassles. Or there can be very clear code of conduct for everybody. Or let's say the working hours are efficient, or you have enough freedom of working style. So this is called like good working environment, something which is again going to motivate people. Another thing which you can do for employees is like talking about the family welfare also. For example, what will people do who have small children? Where will they leave their children and come? Or what if they are responsible for the let's say their elders in the family? So you can have some kind of child or elder care within the premises also. So whenever there is a need, they can be they can live there. So some kind of arrangement from the organization side can really help employees in balancing their work and family. There can be some fitness facilities also, there can be family insurance also, or there can be crash facility also, or sometimes you can have employee assistance programs. So this is the way you can contribute towards the family welfare of the employees. Sometimes what really people enjoy is social gatherings. Like you organize parties, you organize picnics, you organize some games, some festival celebrations are done, wherein you're inviting the family members to come to the workplace, and all the employees also enjoy spending time meeting new members. So these social gatherings also is something which people enjoy. Apart from this, you can give paid vacations, paid leave, as well as vacations to employees and their family, like spouse and children. So that is also one of a very motivating factor for employees. Now this is just on a lighter note, that as an employee of the month, you get to fire the co-worker of your choice. Just on a lighter note. Okay, quickly talking about the incentives for salespeople. So for salespeople, there are one thing is salary, like straight salary. So straight salaries of course is given to the salaried employee, and which is who's into sales. So for example, you are into accounting services, or you are training customers, sales force, or you're participating in national and local trade shows. All these things, for all these things you get a salary, and along with salary, you will also get a commission. So commission is for what? So this is a pay, this is a percentage of sales result, so that it helps in keeping sales cost proportionate to the sales revenue. It may also cause the neglect of non-selling duties. It can create wide variation in salesperson's income. There is likelihood of sales success may be linked to salesperson's performance, and it can increase turnover of salespeople. So this is how commission plans also help. So in some organization, for especially for salespeople, people who are into sales profile, they will get combination of both salary plan plus commission plan. Some will only get salary and some will only get commission, depending upon the organization. Apart from that, there are some types of long term incentive plans also. For example, stock appreciation rights. Like you can also purchase the stocks, right? So being an executive of the company, you have the opportunity to purchase the shares of the organization, which is valued at full market or discounted price, right? So that is, if you're getting to purchase the shares at a discounted price, then of course it is one kind of incentive that you're receiving. Then there are phantom stock also, which is the grant of units which are equal in value for the fair market value or any book value. So that will also be paid. Then there are some of the restricted stock which you can otherwise purchase. Then there are like performance units, and then there are like performance shares also. So these are the different types of long term incentive plans, wherein you will get some kind of benefit on the long run. Apart from this, the executive perks, if we talk about, then what you get like company car. If you are a very big person in a very big company, you get company plane, you get some financial consulting, you get some estate planning, you get some chauffeur service, you get children's education, you get spouse travel, you get mobile phones, you get large insurance policies, you get country club memberships, you get loans, or you get legal counseling, some home repairs. All these things are executive perks which you get if you are an executive level person. So these are the kind of incentives only. Some be financial, some are non-financial in nature. And the last one is the fringe benefits. So what are the fringe benefits? So fringe benefits are the benefits which employees enjoy in addition to the salary. So they are not given for any specific job performance, but to make the jobs more attractive. And they are not linked to productivity, so do not reward performance in any way. But criteria used is other than the performance. But they have an indirect impact on workers' efficiency, and if impact is direct, then it is not considered as fringe benefit, because there is an indirect effect. So what type of fringe benefits are we talking about? Let's say that you get time pay for time which is not worked, so something which is not going to affect you directly, but yeah, you're getting that benefit. Or let's say you get a security, or something related to your health and safety, or something related to the welfare and recreation, or let's say old age and retirement. So all these things are not actually part of your job, but these are the benefits which are additional, which you get, right, being part of the organization. So these are the types of fringe benefits. This is just on a funnier note again. New employees aren't entitled to vacation time, but you get to spend 5 hours in this vacation room. So anyway, yeah, with this we are completing our fourth module, which is related to compensation. I hope some basic idea you received from some basic idea you got related to compensation and the incentives. Now, if time permit, we will first begin with fifth module, and if time permits, then I will take you through some of the case studies also. So yeah, with this, thank you so much. See you in the next class.